Jennifer here with Press Pass LA. We are downtown for LA Film Festival. Tonight we are at the red carpet premiere of It's Already Tomorrow in Hong Kong, starring Byran Greenberg and Jamie Chung. All right, we're here with Emily Ting. Your film is premiering here at LA Film Fest. Can you tell us a little bit about what inspired you to make this movie?
Yeah, so I had lived in Hong Kong previously for 5 years as an expat, and I've always thought it was such a cinematic city, and I want to see more movies made there from sort of like a Western perspective. In the meantime, I'm a huge fan of the Richard Linklater Before Sunrise trilogy. So for me, I always wanted someone else to come to Hong Kong and make a Before Sunrise, but no one came along to do it. So when it came time to do my first film, I decided, oh well, I'll be the person to bring a Before Sunrise to Hong Kong.
And how did you find the filming there? I mean, obviously in LA, people are used to it, but in another big city, you go to New York, there can be a lot of regulations, a lot of red tape. How was that for you in Hong Kong?
Yeah, making your first film is already challenging enough, and then to make it in an entirely foreign country is like a whole other set of challenges. In certain respects, it's very easy to shoot in Hong Kong. All the permits are free. We shot all over Hong Kong. It was very easy. But in other respects, if there are certain other neighborhoods you want to shoot in, they're controlled by the triad. So you actually have to pay off the gangsters in order to shoot. So that my producer had to go and negotiate with the local triad fixer, and that was a whole other challenge in itself.
That's definitely a different type of challenge.
Different type of red tape, let's put it that way.
And so you got two pretty well-known actors, obviously Byran Greenberg and Jamie Chung, in your film. Did you have a relationship with them before, friendship, or did you kind of pitch the project to them and they came on board?
So I've actually worked with Byran before on a separate project called The Kitchen, which I produced. And at the LA premiere of that film, I started talking to him about what's coming up next. And I sort of pitched a project to him saying, I have this script, about a Chinese American girl who goes to Hong Kong and meets an American expat. And he's like, oh, did you know I was dating Jamie Chung? I'm like, yeah. And that
I kind of dropped that in there on purpose.
And she is someone I've always dreamed of working with. She was who I sort of pictured. In a way, it just sort of came together. I asked Byran if I could send the script to him to pass along. He did. They read it, and 2 weeks later, they emailed and said they both want to do the film.
That's amazing. We're here with Jamie Chung. Tell us, your film is premiering here at LA Film Festival. Tell us what attracted you to this script initially.
Well, Emily has worked with Byran before as a producer on a different film, and she had approached him and was like, I don't know, is it weird? I kind of have something for Jamie to read. But then you're also really appropriate for the part 2, but I don't know if you guys want to do it together. Just read it and let me know what you think. So we were like, oh, that's interesting. We've never been each offered a role in the same movie, so we were like, okay, let's read it together. And when we read it and the story unfolded, we realized how similar it kind of resonated with the story of how we met. And not to get too personal, but just in
you can get personal.
No, just in terms of and I feel people must have these kind of stories where you meet a really interesting person and you're captivated, and yet the timing is just totally off. One's in a relationship, one's going through a breakup. So it really is about misconnections.
Then they get a second chance. And how was it working together on, some people like to work with people they have a real relationship with, the chemistry's there, and some don't. So how was that for you guys?
I was a bit nervous about it, but ultimately, he's my best friend. So we thought of all the positives, being able to travel together. We made a holiday after we're done filming. We both have never been to Hong Kong, so we thought it'd be something fun to do. And you don't get these opportunities to be in the same film, so we were like, why not? This is never gonna be offered again, so let's go for it. And we love the story, and Emily was so easy to work with, so it all made sense.
And how do you feel about LA Film Fest? Obviously, it's been growing. Do you have a favorite other movie that you've seen here this week, or anything about the festival you want to share?
I mean, it just kicked off on Wednesday, so we're one of the first movies to premiere for the weekend, but we have a couple of friends with films here, like Jim Badgerly, he's a writer, he has a film here. Ian Edelman, Brian's old creator of the show How to Make It in America, his movie Puerto Rico's in Paris is here, so I think we're going to try and catch that next Wednesday.
We were with Byran at your premiere at LA Film Fest. So tell us what it was like working overseas in Hong Kong and kind of working together with your fiance. It's a unique situation.
The whole situation was very unique. Yeah, I've never been to Hong Kong before, and I really wanted to pay tribute to the city, because I think it's really a love letter to the city. And then working with Jamie was amazing. You know, I mean, who gets to work with their fiance and shoot?
Are you guys nervous about that at all? I know some people maybe do want to work with people they're in love with or friends with, and some people don't want to work with people that they have relationships with.
I think she was more nervous than I was. I kind of felt like it was going to be fine. I was excited, you know. I mean, I just thought it was a cool opportunity that was very rare, and I embraced it, you know.
And you worked with the director before, but in a different capacity. She was a producer. So what was it like working with her and having her direct you?
Well, it was great because like you said, I already worked with her twice as a producer before, so we already had a really good, strong relationship, and we already trusted each other, and that's the thing you need most, I think, in an actor-director relationship. Also, this was her personal story, so I could really depend on her for the truth when I needed it, and she couldn't have made it easier for us. You know, she was very accommodating, and we had a great time shooting this movie.
Well, that's a wrap. We got to talk to Jamie and Byran about their film. We're going to go inside and check it out. Stay tuned for the rest of our LA Film Fest coverage right here on Press Pass LA.